We can all pretty much tell that Ed is getting ready to draw the line on Cyraxx. When you heard them arguing through the audio when Sally told Cyraxx to turn the music down, and then you heard them arguing, Ed was saying like, "Hey man, you need to stop yelling at your grandmother like that," and then they start arguing. I think Ed probably threw something at Cyraxx or whatever like that, but um, Ed 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 despised Cyraxx. I know he despises him. I know he does. I think he only puts up with Cyraxx out of respect for Sally. He's doing it out of respect for her. People say like Ed, he's taking up for a pedophile like Cyraxx. He's only doing that out of respect for Sally. And I'm not trying to make up excuses and make Ed look good or anything like that, but I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. If I was living with somebody like Sally, yes, I would I would feel very angry, very frustrated with Cyraxx if I was in that situation. If I was somebody like Ed, because I can kind of tell that Ed is ready to crash out. He's ready to crash out on Cyraxx, and I can see that when you guys go back and you listen to the audio, you can clearly tell that Ed is ready to crash out. He already said he's tired of him. He said he's tired of this goblin. Well, he didn't say goblin. He just said, "I'm just tired of you." And it's getting to that point that Ed's getting ready to crash out. Though I'm sure he probably told Sally plenty of times that you need to go ahead and kick this mother effer out. He is hard head. He don't want to listen. And when we do disconnect the internet, he go running downstairs, plugging it back up, going back upstairs, arguing with these army of trolls, playing loud music. This guy's got to go, Sally. And there's a lot of guys out there, guys like Ed would try to talk and tell the mother to go against their own child. And some of these mothers would go against their own child. You would have these dudes come in telling their mother to go against their own child and show them more love than they do their own child. And normally you're not supposed to do that, especially if you're the stepfather. You're not supposed, that's not really a good idea to try to make a mother make a decision on between you and her child. That's one thing you don't never do to a woman. You don't never make her choose you or her child, because that's not a good situation to be in. But in Ed's case, he's not wrong for that. And totally understandable if he told Sally that you need to put this mother effer out. Put him out. He's not wrong for that. He is definitely not wrong for that, because Cyraxx has brought a lot of chaos in their life. These are two elderly people. This is elderly abuse right here that Cyraxx is putting them through. It is. This is elderly abuse. And I'm sure the state is fully aware of you, Cyraxx. They is fully aware of you on what you's putting your parents through. They is fully aware of you on who you are. And Ed is getting ready. I can see now. I think if Ed had somewhere to go, I think he would have been left. He would have been left and walked on out of that house. But I think the only reason why Ed is just sticking around there, because he doesn't really have nowhere to go. There's probably nobody in Ed's family that would take him in, or maybe everybody in his family's dead. I don't know anything about Ed's family, but I think that's the reason why Ed has not left, because he doesn't really have nowhere else to go. So he's got no choice but to put up with that. I don't know. If I was Ed, I would probably sign up for senior citizen. I'm not gonna lie. I would put in an application for senior citizen if I was like somebody like Ed's age. Ed look like he's old enough to qualify for senior citizen. He look like he's old enough to qualify for it. But if I was Ed, I would go put in an application and sign up for senior citizen. You know, see if they take him in or not. Because if I was somebody like Ed, I would much rather be in a senior citizen home than to deal with somebody like Cyraxx. Especially if I don't really have nowhere else to go or anything like that, I'll just sign up for senior citizen until they give me a call and saying that I'm qualified to be in there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I would do if I was Ed. Sign up for senior citizen, man. If you ain't got nowhere to go, sign up for senior citizen. I don't know what his income is. I don't know what he qualified or not. But it's worth a shot, Ed. It's worth a shot, man. 'Cause if I was you, Ed, if Sally don't want to listen to you, then your best bet is to get out of there, man. Get out of there before you end up crashing out and you're going to really end up hurting Cyraxx. Will Cyraxx deserve it? Cyraxx deserve a good beat down, but in situations like this, that what Cyraxx is putting Ed through and talking junk to Ed, it's like what I said in my videos, man. I seen times that the stepdad, they would go in their little room and they would get their pistol and they would shoot somebody like you, Cyraxx, for being very disrespectful. Although I know Sally would try to take the gun from Ed or try to tell Ed not to do it, but I know if Ed does it, then Sally's gonna have to put Ed out because Ed threatened to shoot him. But if I was Ed, it's like what I said in my other video. I wouldn't fight Cyraxx. I wouldn't try to fight him because I know Ed look like he's got a bad back. Like he had surgery on his back or something though. So I wouldn't fight Cyraxx. I wouldn't. I'd just go purchase me a gun. If I was somebody like Ed, I would go purchase me a gun, and I would let Cyraxx know. If you don't want to respect me, you're gonna respect this gun. You're gonna respect this gun. You try to get in my face, you're gonna get deleted. Simple as that, Cyraxx. You get in my face, you get close to me, or you try to dare me to shoot you, I'm gonna delete you. If Sally ain't got the guts to put your butt out that house, I will. And if Sally steps in and tells me that I don't have the right to do that and you side busting with this goblin, then you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I said, you deal with him. You deal with him. Don't even call me and say that you need my help when I could have just told you should have put this goblin out the house when I was there. So once I pack my bags up, once I walk out that door, Sally, you better not call me and say, come over here and talk to Chance or Cyraxx, whatever you want to call him, seeking you calm him down. He doesn't want to listen to me. I'm going to say, no, you handle him yourself. I tried to tell you that I'm just saying if I was Ed, I would have told her, I tried to tell you to put him out or evict him or whatever like that. And you refuse to do it. And when I tried to step in and say that he needs to get out, you wants to get in the middle of it and tell me no. So no, you deal with this goblin. 'Cause I'm not gonna sit here and argue with a 30-something-year-old man, tell a 30-something-year-old man to turn his music down. I mean, come on, man. How old is Ed? Ed is about what? About 59, maybe in his 60s. Come on, man. A 60-something-year-old man gonna tell a 30-year-old man to turn his music down? Like, man, that's a 30-something-year-old man acting like he's still in his 20s. Like he act like he's still like a teenager and everything like that. And that's pretty sad though. That Cyraxx got a body of a man, even though the body don't look like a man. But he's got a body of a man, but he's got a mind of a child. That's how Cyraxx operates. He's got a body of a goblin, but got a mind of a child. That's how Cyraxx operate. I don't know what to say for you, Ed. Like I said, man, you better off just signing up for. I mean, if you're watching this video, Ed, you just better off signing up for senior citizen, man, and just leave Sally behind, man. I wouldn't tell her that you're gonna go to see. I wouldn't tell her that, but I would look into it. If I was your age, Ed, I would look up to sign up to senior citizen because you're still in your rightful mind, so you ain't got to worry about them treating you bad or abusing you. You ain't got to worry about them treating you bad or abusing you at the senior citizen place, Ed, because you're still at your rightful mind, so you ain't got to worry about getting abused in the senior citizen place. But you better off just going there, man. At least you might get some peace and quiet. At least you ain't gotta listen to someone yell at 12 or 1 o'clock at night. At least you might get maybe better sleep over there in the senior citizen place than to sit there and listen to somebody like Cyraxx. Cause I'm dead serious, man. If I was somebody like Ed, if I was just as old as Ed is, I would just sign up for a senior citizen and get on out of there. See if I qualify for senior citizen. He's old enough to qualify for it. I don't know why Sally don't. I don't know why Sally don't go for it. Well, nah, Sally ain't gonna go no serious in the place. She'll just keep trying to fight to hold that house up. But yeah, Cyraxx. If it had been any other stepfather out there, bro, they would have done crashed out on you, big time. Because Ed is an older guy, you feel like you can take him though. But if Ed was like maybe 20 or 30 years younger and good health condition, man, Ed probably would have done beat the living devil out of you, Cyraxx. But due to the fact that Ed is old, he can't really fight like he used to, like when he was younger. But Ed is willing to fight you though. Y'all heard the audio, right? He's willing to throw down with Cyraxx though. Cause he just tired of Cyraxx, and I can just see it. The man just tired of him. And you got two elderly people that's there, and older people, elderly people, they like peace and quiet. Believe me, they do. You know, I used to live with my grandparents, and a lot of grandparents, they like quietness around their house. They don't like a lot of noise. I mean, yes, you can get online, play your little video game, but most elderly people don't like a lot of noise in their house. They like peace and quiet. Elderly people, they like to sit there, maybe read a book or watch TV. Elderly people don't like a lot of noise and a lot of activities. You know what I'm saying? Some elderly people is not like that. Some elderly people don't like loud music. Because when you're like 60 or 70 years old, somebody at that age, they don't want to hear that loud music. So if you're staying with elderly people, Cyraxx, it's better to just get your own place. And you can play all the loud music you want. But Cyraxx don't have enough common sense to know that though. So when you stand with an elderly person, they don't want to hear all that loud music. They don't want to hear all that stuff. They ain't trying to listen to all that, man. They ain't young like you. They ain't trying to hear all that stuff. Elderly people like it peace and quiet. Well, Sally must be used to it though. She must be used to it though. She must like all that drama. But Sally, I know you love Cyraxx. You love him like a real son, everything like that. But you're gonna have to cut him loose. It's gonna come to that point in time that you're gonna have to cut this goblin loose before it's too late. You're gonna have to cut him loose. Yeah, he's gonna cry. He's gonna be at your door crying like a little crybaby. Oh, I ain't got nowhere to go. Mom, help! I'm so scared. Oh yeah, he's gonna act like that. He's gonna act like that, and he's probably gonna threaten to kill himself. And you know something? You're just gonna have to draw that line, Sally. You're gonna have to draw that line. Show him tough love. Because calling the police on him is not gonna work. You see that, Sally? Calling the police on him is not gonna work. The police done been there over a freaking 100 times already. Man, he ain't trying to hear all that. You need to show him better than you tell him. Even the cops told you, Sally, that you just need to go ahead and just put him out. Pack his clothes up and just put him out. And let him get a taste of the streets out there. and maybe he might behave himself. If you decide to let him back in, maybe he might behave himself. Maybe he might come to a sense of reality, saying like, if you do it again, you're back out in the streets, and this time you're not going to get you're not going to get a third chance with me. So that's how I would do Sally. Let him get a taste of the streets out there. What's it's like? Because Cyraxx he's not going to survive in the streets. He's not. He's not going to know where to go. Where's he going to go? He doesn't have a car. None of that. Where's he going to go? Everybody going to be looking at him all weird, like, who is this creep? He ain't going to know where to go. But, yeah. Ed, like I said, man, go to a senior citizen place, man. Get up out of there, man. Because Ed's getting ready to crash out on Cyraxx. Y'all, like I said, y'all heard the audio. This man's getting ready to crash out on Cyraxx. Ed ain't scared of him. Ed will try to fight him. But, if I was Ed, I wouldn't try to fight Cyraxx. If I was Ed, like I said, Ed, you just need to just go ahead and get you a pistol. Get you a pistol. And tell Cyraxx, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, you tell Cyraxx, you either respect me or you're going to respect this gun. Cyraxx still want to talk junk, then hey, do what you got to do, man. Delete him. Shoot him in the leg or whatever like that. If he survive it, he'll respect that gun. Believe that. Anyway, peace.